All right, Gary, you're good to go.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gary Racine. I'm the chair of the City of Cambridge Accessibility Advisory Committee, and I call this meeting to order at 1:31 p.m. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here today. And I'm going to turn it over to their clerk today to complete a roll call of the committee.
No, thanks, Gary. I don't see Allison. Shannon,
Here, yeah.
you. I don't see Sarah. CJ.
Here.
I don't see Tara. Barry.
Here.
Heather. I see you here, Heather. That's all right. And Gary.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, so thank you, everyone. One of the things that we want to do before we start our our presentation today is do our land acknowledgement. We embrace our shared responsibility with the First Nations people to take care of this earth and its creatures. We can only do so by walking the path as partners, stewarding this land as we have been given the duty to live in balance and harmony with all living things. We acknowledge and respect the First Nations who came before us and who we live amongst. By honoring this truth of the past and present, we may come to true reconciliation through listening, reflecting, and learning. Before we go any further, I want to just ask, is there any member of the community who would like to declare a direct or indirect pecuniary interest or on any matter before the committee today? We have quite a loaded schedule, and I just wanted to make sure that everybody was comfortable and that there is no pecuniary interest on any matter. Anybody? All right, thank you very much. Now, as we normally do, to ensure that we're heard and seen, please use your equipment. And we ask everybody to use the hands up function in Zoom if you have a question or comment. And please wait for me to call you. In doing so, we're going to try to get everybody's questions and suggestions in as much as we can during the presentation today. Was one thing also I wanted to share with you. You may have received a letter to the committee from Michael. If you could take the opportunity to read that letter and go through it and everything else. And if down the road or today even you had some questions, we can discuss later on. Is that all right with everybody? Okay. I'd like to move to the approval of the June 23, 2025 minutes. Can I have a mover? Can I have a seconder, please?
I'll move. Yeah.
And you'll second, Shannon?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Thanks, Gary. Yeah.
Okay. I'll ask the clerk for a call for the vote.
Sorry, I had Shannon, and who was the other individual? Sorry.
Barry Green.
Barry. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thanks, Gary. Shannon.
In favor. Yeah.
Thank you. CJ.
Yep.
Thank you. Barry.
In favor.
Heather.
In favor.
Thank you. And Gary.
In favor.
Okay, that passes. Thank you.
So now we'd like to look at, we've got quite a few agenda details with us today. We've got the region of Waterloo coming with the regional taxi bylaw. We've got the regional Waterloo, the waste cart rollout. We're going to take a break, and our schedule's fairly loaded. So if we need to take a secondary break like we did last time, we will do so by all means. So if you feel that we need that extra little break and I missed the cues, please don't hesitate to let me know. The City of Cambridge, the Forbes Estate Tower reconstruction, the City of Cambridge, the Soper Park outdoor pool, and the City of Cambridge older adult strategy. So these are our presenters for today.
Oh, and sorry to interrupt, Gary. We did have a an updated agenda. We do have one more item after that as well. It's the Ed Newland pool walkway. It was just a time sensitive thing they added on. So we just have one extra item.
Okay, then we have one extra item at the end. So what we'll do is we'll try to get everybody in. And Michael, can you start us off? Or do we have the people from the region of Waterloo? Have they all arrived?
Yes, we have Nora here in the meeting room with us. Welcome, Nora.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
Perfect.
Welcome,
Thank
Nora.
you so much. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Michael, I did have a presentation. Should I share it on my screen?
That would be great. Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
Then give me one moment. Okay, let me know if everybody can see that.
We can see it now, Nora.
Sounds great. Okay, wonderful. So this is my second time now coming to this committee. We are still working away on updating our taxi bylaw. The goal is to have a draft version available by November and to have that presented to our licensing and hearing committee at the region of Waterloo. But right now we're currently in the engagement phase. So it's for this reason we wanted to meet again just to talk a little bit about some more things that we have done and to gather a little bit more feedback from you all if you have any. But without further ado, I will go ahead. Perfect. So as mentioned last time as well, the bylaw was last reviewed in 2016. So we're almost at that 10-year mark. So there have been many changes in the taxi industry over the last several years. So Regional Council have directed staff to review and update the bylaw in 2025. To ensure that accessibility standards are up to date, we wanted to engage with both the Grand River Accessibility Advisory Committee as well as Cambridge's just to gather further insight and feedback that we can take back to our team at the region as we are working towards updating this bylaw. Okay, so we are currently engaging with multiple stakeholders. We started back at the end of May, and we're still doing it now to gain feedback on our current taxi services in the region. We recently posted a survey on Engage WR back in June for the entire month, and we also hosted in-person sessions at regional libraries where we invited members of the community to just pop in into the regional libraries that we were at to provide any sort of feedback that they would like to see with taxi services. We've also met with Grand River Accessibility Committee. We had our second meeting with them as well. And this is our second meeting now with Cambridge's Accessibility Committee. We've also met with members of the public, with taxi brokers, as well as rideshare companies such as Uber and Lyft, to gain insight from them on how what their experiences are running in the region, but also providing them with feedback from the public that we received on expectations that the region has for them to continue their services. So just the latest updates. So back in June, Regional Council approved staff to increase the required accessible fleet size from 7% to 9%. So we will be adding 5 additional accessible vans on the road in 2026. We will also be changing ableist wording in the bylaw. So that will all be changed in the draft version that you will see in November. We're also looking at adding more incentives for drivers, accessible taxi drivers, to ensure that there is a van on the road overnight between the hours. It says 12 a.m. to 6 a.m., but when we got back the survey, many said that from 11 p.m. even onwards, it's very, very difficult to get an accessible van. So this is something that we've actually talked about already with some of the with all the taxi brokers, with this expectation, and they were open to the idea of that, but as well they definitely would like to see some incentives to be implemented. So this is something that the regional staff will be looking into with our finance team as well, and taking that funding from our accessibility reserve to be able to provide that support for the drivers to ensure that there's that service for our community. Another item that we were interested in adding was penalties for drivers in cases where they're putting the customer safety at risk. So we found this to be a similar model to the City of London, where they included the administrative monetary penalty system within their taxi bylaw. So in cases where the driver was not complying to the bylaw, or there was certain areas where, for instance, they weren't buckling a customer properly, or there was any sort of safety risk, there was a monetary fine. And the purpose of this is to really deter the driver from doing these actions by putting this consequence in place. So we are looking at City of London's model and this. So I would highly recommend you to check City of London's bylaw as well, just to get a gist of how that looks like. And we're going to start working with our AMPS team here at the region to see how we can include that into our bylaw as well, to encourage more safe behavior on the road. So a few more updates. So we've increased the accessibility fee for our rideshare service companies from 7 cents per trip to 10 cents. This does align with the rate of other municipalities as well. Again, this has not been updated in a very long time, so it aligns with the rate of inflation, aligns with the rate that other municipalities have implemented. And this will be able to support the purchase of 5 additional vehicles, and as well be able to support providing the region's incentive programs for drivers. We were looking into seeing if we should add a vulnerable sector check for Uber and Lyft and Rideco drivers as well. We are doing a bit of a municipal jurisdictional scan to see how this may look like, the impact that this might have on an administrative side with the WRPS having to administer these checks. And just to weigh the pros and cons out of it. So we're still in the process of that, just to see how that may look like. Another exciting item is that we've been collaborating with GRT, and they are rolling out mandatory accessibility training for all accessible taxi drivers, and they're updating this training. So there have been issues that we've been getting some feedback on from the members of the community. So we want to ensure that there is consistent service among all accessible taxi drivers. So it's not that one driver is better than the other, so that there's some ease that you may have when you are in an accessible taxi, or when a passenger is in an accessible taxi, that they can know that the driver has a certain level of knowledge, and that is expected by the region. So that is being rolled out by GRT. I believe this is the last one. We are also updating the complaint process. We have noticed that to make a complaint is quite difficult to do. It's not that clear. We do have our Service First call center, and we really appreciate all of their work as well, and we highly recommend you to call them. However, we have taken the opportunity to look at what other jurisdictions are doing as well with their complaints and how their forms look like. And it's more detailed, and it provides the opportunity for the individual to provide more information on the nature of their concern or nature of their complaint, to give the region the opportunity to be able to investigate as best as possible without having to go back and forth to gain sufficient information. So that is also in the works as well. So we've been working closely with our communications and resident experience team, and that is on our long to-do list of things that we want to see to enhance and improve, so that the community is able to reach out to the region if they have a complaint and be able to get a response as well, and to see their complaints being heard and listened to. So those are my updates as of now for things that have happened over the last few months. So we would really greatly appreciate any comments or concerns that you may have regarding our current taxi service, or if there's anything more that you would like to see. I will be taking some notes down. So if you see me looking on the side, I'm just taking some notes down to take back to my team. And then I'm also very happy to have one-on-one meetings, or I highly recommend you to email me as well, and I'd be happy to discuss further. So that is my contact information there. But I will now open the floor to any questions that you may have. But yeah, that's it for me for now.
Gary, you're just on mute.
Nora, would you be able to go back to your main screen so we can see everybody?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, we had, as Nora mentioned, we're opening up the floor for questions. And we have CJ who has her hand up. CJ, please go ahead.
I very much appreciate the disincentives, the number of times I have been not buckled in properly and or not buckled in at all in our local taxi disability taxis is quite scary. I would really prefer to see more thought put into the buckling system in general, because I never feel very secure. Because the lap belt actually is sitting at the abdomen, and that's how people get transected. As a former paramedic, it's not something you ever want to see. So right now, most of those systems are not sitting against the pelvic bones, which is where it needs to be sitting for actual proper security.
So CJ, just to add to what you just said, obviously a repositioning of the belts would be certainly safer. And also if there was a training and awareness campaign for anybody that uses a disability van, so that they can do some practicing on tying people in, tying people out before they send them off in the driving. Would that be, in your view, a positive input to what we're trying to accomplish? CJ, what do you think?
Yeah, you know, I'm willing to be there. I know there is thought that has gone into these systems, but I'm also recognizing the deficits. But yeah, often they're not far enough back, so I would be thrown, and then I would hit the chest belt. Yeah, teaching them proper adjustment.
Yep,
For them, it's about time equals money.
yes,
Uh,
I agree with
And
you.
that's part of the problem, is they're rushing to get you in and out so they can get to their next paid job, which I understand, but my life has value too. So maybe the compensation has to extend a little bit further in terms of allowing them the time that they're being compensated for.
Okay. Thank you very much for that, CJ. Are there any other questions at
I'll
this
just
time?
make a quick response to CJ. I just took
Laura?
that note down, and I'm happy to reach out to our team at GRT, especially because they're rolling out this new training program, to make sure that they can highlight this as well and to see whether we can show them in person and because one thing that we've included in this new training is the consequences of not buckling someone properly and showing them what will happen in that sense, whereas previously was more seen as you must do this, but it didn't really emphasize, well, what would happen if you don't. So we wanted to include that sense as well into it so they can understand that, but I will be reaching out to the team right after this call to let them know. So I really appreciate that.
Very good, Nora. Thank you. I did have, Nora, a couple of questions, if you don't mind. Doing your different things at the library, the different meetings, are you getting some good responses? Are people coming in? Are you feeling that you're getting some good participation?
So to be quite transparent, our online survey had a much higher participation rate. We got around 122 responses with our online survey. We were in the library from June 23rd to the 20th, like that week of June. For that 1 week, we visited a library each day. And the turnout rate for that wasn't that high. However, when individuals were coming and dropping in to return books or to just take a browse in the library, that's when our conversations came around. And these libraries took place in the townships as well. So it was interesting to hear their perspective as well on taxi services and the availability of taxi services as well. But not as high of a turnout rate. We did encourage the libraries to post. We created some advertisements, so they had that around the libraries to make sure that the community would be aware. But definitely the online survey was quite a hit, I will say.
So we got some good response from one of the mediums, or a better response from one of the mediums that you put forward.
That is
Okay.
correct.
Now, I took note about the vulnerable sector check. In light of the fact that you are looking at doing the 11 p.m. to early in the a.m., is that correct?
That is
And
correct.
some people feel late at night's always a little risky and everything else. I think that certainly the vulnerable security check, I know they're considering it now. I just went through it at the YMCA because I do some volunteer work, and even though I never work with children, I still have to go through the check. And so certainly that would be something that you have my full, my full support if you can get them to go through, because I think that would give people a lot of confidence in going anytime and being comfortable that everybody's passed a certain level of safety and security. So that would be something that would be quite interesting. The other thing was when you mentioned 5 additional, I believe vans. I believe you mentioned. Is that across all the different companies? That's not per company. That's all across the different companies.
It's across all companies, so it's a
Okay.
total. Yeah,
So if we have, let's say, 25, they would have an extra 5. They would have 30 right now.
that's correct.
Okay, very good. That's all the questions I have. I had just one
Sorry,
moment.
Gary. Gary, I'm having a problem getting my hand up. So, but I've got a couple of comments I'd like to make. Yeah.
Okay, and then we can go back to the other people too. Yeah, but thanks, Shannon.
Okay. Thanks, Gary. Yeah, this is kind of near and dear to my heart because actually I still own a taxi with Golden Triangle in Cambridge, and I actually was one of the original accessible van owners back in 2003. We put 2 vans on in Golden Triangle, and then there were other vans put on throughout the region. So I'm very familiar with this. I really like some of the ideas you're coming up with. I really like the idea of giving some incentive for a van to be on overnight, because on numerous times I was called out of bed at 2 a.m. to take someone home from the hospital for like a $15 fare, and it just wasn't worth it. So I really like the idea of giving an incentive. And also we need to ensure, I think something that's really important is we need to ensure that these accessible vehicles, we get the overflow from Grand River Transit, and that's a big contract for the vans. But we really need to ensure that Grand River Transit is using us, because it costs an awful lot of money to modify these vans into accessible vehicles. I know I had to do it myself. So we really need to make sure that these vans are being used, because they're very, very expensive. And I really like the idea of getting a vulnerable sector check, because I know all taxi drivers, to get a taxi license, you have to get a vulnerable sector check. Whereas Uber, who knows what these people have? Who knows what their background is, and they're not. Some of them aren't insured properly. Some of them do not. Who knows? Do they like for a taxi license? You have to have a clean driving record, not to have any criminal record at all, and you need to actually have you have to be a high standard, and you get training. Whereas Uber and these ride shift programs, who knows who you're going to get? So I really think it's important that we use the taxi service, because they are checks. They have to get a vulnerable sector check. They're regulated by the region of Waterloo, and they're not just some individuals, part-time hacks who are out there doing it on the weekend. So that's some of the comments I'd like to make. I really think you've got to come up with some really good ideas, but I'm not really sure you want to get involved with Uber or Lyft or any of these other companies. I really don't think they deserve to be. They are worthy to be used to be doing this service. That's just some of my comments.
Thank you very much, Shannon, for that. Did we have any more people who would bring forward any questions or suggestions for Nora? All right, so what I'd like to propose, we got CJ, go ahead, CJ.
I wanted to second what Shannon said, because when I travel on airplanes, I'm often at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, so it can be very hard to meet my my professional goals if vehicles aren't available. So an overnight one is very important.
Very, very good. Thank you very much, CJ. So if we look at, discuss, we've talked about a few things. Obviously, the vulnerability section sector check seems to be quite important to the group. I think, Nora, you've mentioned that you've taken that down. The buckling system of the training, and you've done quite a bit already, Nora, just maybe adding a little bit to that in terms of here's what can happen, here's what we're going to do. Maybe we're going to put a training program in, and as well as the latest part of having ensuring that people have all the necessary tools that they have to get out there once they do their taxiing, at whether it's during the day or post in the evening at late at night. I think that pretty well summarizes what we've discussed. If there's not any other questions or suggestions.
Just one more comment too. Sorry, Gary. As I said, I'm having a hard time getting to the hand respond. I know what's going on with my phone here, but I can't get into the hands up. But I just want to echo your comments about training, Nora. I think that would be a very worthwhile initiative, because I know when I first started, I more or less had to learn on my own how to buckle people in properly, and the training wasn't good. But I think if you made standard training for all the taxi companies, just to make sure that everybody's aboard and all the new drivers, because there is a real turnover on drivers, that they're up to snuff and they know how they really know what they're doing. So I think that's a really good idea to have to incorporate some kind of training for the taxi drivers for with the accessible vehicles. Yeah.
Excellent, thank you, Nora. What I have seen in on one occasion in Ottawa, was in Ottawa, they were doing training, so they would buckle somebody in a wheelchair in the back, just kind of slap the seatbelt on them. Then this was in a parking lot. Then they just drive up, and then they somebody would jump in front of the van, and then they'd have to brake hard. And the person that was in the back with the seatbelt not properly tied was going all crooked and everything else. Then they would stop and they say, see what happens in an emergency when they actually visually saw it. So these are the types of little things. Sometimes it's not just about tying it and where to tie it, it's also how to properly do it and maybe make sure that these things don't happen. So that was just a little idea. Sometimes they can do a little session where they actually do a little bit of driving around with the van inside an enclosed area and recreate certain things they'll see on the street. And then you can see if the seatbelt is properly tied or not. So I just thought when I was in Ottawa the last time, I saw that. So I thought that might be helpful.
Yes, thank you for sharing. I will take this back to the team with GRT as well.
Thank you very much, Nora, for your presentation. And thank you very much, everybody, for your questions and suggestions, Shannon and CJ, and the rest of the group. Michael, I think the second person or the second group is the Regional Waterloo Waste Cart Rollout. Is
Just
that
letting
correct?
them, yeah, just letting them in now, Gary. Thank you,
Okay.
Nora, for coming and presenting.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Talk soon. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Gary, we have Allison in the room. Allison, welcome. Do you have anybody else presenting with you, Allison? I have a couple other people in the waiting room I don't recognize.
Yeah, so Melissa Chavez and Wealtha Grant. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I'll let them in as well. Welcome, Allison. Thank you so much for being here. I'll just let your colleagues in, and then the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. I'll try and figure out how to share my screen. Just a second. All right. Are you able to see a slide that says let's roll?
Yes, we can see it.
All right, great. Just gotta figure out my setup here. Amazing. Okay, well, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be a part of your meeting today. Like I said, Melissa and Wealtha are here with me today just to help with the question period. Wealtha is also new to our team, so she will be just kind of absorbing the information I'm here to share with you today. All right, so today, oh, I don't think my slide is switching for you. It is not. 1 second, sorry. Let's see if this does something. All right, wonderful. So I'm from the region of Waterloo's waste department to talk about the new CART program. So we will be sharing about the new curbside collection program, and then to really gather input from your committee on the service we're providing that is tailored to accessibility needs, and also to get your feedback on some of our existing programs and their application process. We really wish to ensure that this CART-based collection program works for everyone, and we'd really value any feedback you could give us. We will also discuss next steps and hopefully have time for a question period. So starting in March 2026, the region will roll out the black and green carts for garbage and organics collection. So this change will apply to residential households that currently receive curbside waste collection and that meet truck access criteria. So these new carts will be replacing setting out garbage bags and the small green bins at the curb like we currently do. And council approved this change back in 2023 to modernize our collection system and align with other municipalities. So this includes places like Guelph, Peel, Toronto, Barrie, Simcoe. They already use the cart-based collection program. Kingston is closest to our stage of the game. They're rolling it out in phases though, so a little bit different. But we are one of the last large regions to make this shift to carts, and we're really excited about the improvements it will bring. So to help residents prepare, we've been gradually sharing information on 2 web pages actually. So regionofwaterloo.ca/carts, and then also an Engage Waterloo Region page. And so you can learn more about the carts and what's coming. We've also been hosting presentations and attending different events throughout the region to give residents the opportunity to see the carts in person, to talk to our staff, and to learn more about the carts in person. So currently we do have a portal open on our website where you can choose the size of the black garbage cart you would like to receive for your household. Pictured here is the large one. The smaller one is about the same size as the green cart, but we'll get into that in a little bit. This portal is open until September 5th, and you only need to use it if you want to tell us if you want the small cart. So what is cart-based collection? It's when the driver uses a mechanical arm on the side of the collection truck to lift and empty carts. This is so that you don't have to exit the vehicle each stop. This requires specific carts that fit with the arm. This is because the arm almost gives the cart a big hug to lift it up and over to empty the materials. And for our region, cart-based collection only applies to garbage and organics. So we no longer manage the Blue Box program since the province privatized recycling to producers back in 2024. And the other collection services, including bulky items, yard waste, and Christmas tree collection, will continue to be collected the same way as before, manually. And this is due to the variable quantity of waste and size limits of a cart for large items. So some key benefits of the new cart-based collection program are that it keeps the region competitive in relation to contract bids. So switching to carts allows us to align with other municipalities, which makes us more attractive to potential contractors. It's also more ergonomically friendly for residents. So for many, the carts are much easier to move than the traditional bins or garbage bags. This is because there's no more bending down and lifting as they come with large wheels and ergonomic handles. so residents can just roll them to the curb instead of lifting or dragging heavy items. They are also designed for stability, so the carts are balanced and sturdy, which reduces the risk of them tipping over at the curb, something that can be especially helpful for residents with limited strength or mobility. It also reduces litter from windy days and pests. So with secure lids and the locking green carts, we're hoping to keep out animals like raccoons and squirrels and prevent garbage from blowing around on windy days. So this will mean for cleaner streets and fewer messes to deal with after collection. It also creates a consistent and tidy curbside appearance with standardized set-out requirements. And finally, it supports staff recruitment and retention. So cart-based collection is more efficient, it's safer, and less physically demanding, which helps contractors attract and retain workers. It will also result in a 4-day collection week, which is more appealing to workers, and it also provides built-in flexibility for holiday Mondays and weather-related delays. All right, so in the fall, carts will start to be delivered to each address that receives our collection service. Each household will receive 1 black garbage cart. You can see here that you have a choice in size. And you also receive 1 green organics cart and also a new food scraps container. So everyone will get the same sized green bin. And the default size, if you don't go onto our portal, if you don't let us know what garbage cart you'd like, you will get the default size, which is the larger of the 2. And this holds approximately 3 full garbage bags. It's 111 centimeters in height. But you do have the option, if that sounds too big for your needs, you can get a smaller cart, which holds about 1 full garbage bag and is 96 centimeters in height. So we're being very diligent in reminding residents that they can choose their cart size. They have until September 5th. We have social media posts. We're out in the community for in-person presence. And we also have newspaper ads, radio ads, lots of different ways to be hearing about this. And we hope that you've heard this as well. We're trying to reach everyone. So today we're looking for your input into our current programs and services that make curbside collection more accessible to our residents. So we recognize the importance of inclusive service design, and we're looking to scale up our assisted waste collection service. So we will look at that service first, then we'll also quickly look at the application process of the medical exemption program. This is because the assisted waste collection service application will be very similar to that. So our walk-up waste collection service is available to assist residents with a disability where they are unable to bring their collection containers curbside. This service will continue to be available with the launch of our new cart program, where collection contractors will bring the carts from a designated location on the property, bring them to the curb for collection, empty the carts, and return it to the designated area. So currently, residents must apply for this service by contacting our call center, as it's not actively promoted. However, we're committed to making the service more visible and accessible, and ultimately user-friendly for those who need it, as we anticipate a greater demand for it as the CART program rolls out. So to support this, we're developing an online application form to provide a more convenient option, and we will advertise this service on our website. So we will now look at the medical exemption program. So that is for those who qualify as residents that are regularly over the garbage limit as a result of a medical condition that results in waste that can't be recycled. So things such as incontinence products or unrecyclable medical packaging. And our goal is to ensure this program continues to serve those who need it. And we'd like your feedback on the process of applying and the accessibility of this program. So for years now, residents have been able to fill out the online application form or call our call center. And residents are not required to fully renew their application each year. It just requires confirmation of their address and contact info. All right. So we are just a few slides away from the question period, the interactive portion, but I really would love to encourage you to send us your feedback on the assisted collection program and the medical exemption process for the application. We're interested to know either from your own personal experience with these services or after you have had the chance to review it, if you have any feedback for us. It would be extremely valuable to know if you have any suggestions for that process. And if you have any questions about the services themselves, you can always reach out to us. And I'll just share that we have been visiting every city and township in the region through a variety of different outreach efforts to spread the word about our programs and services. But we're always looking for more ways to reach people out in the community. So if you have a great idea for us to come visit, whether you're part of a group or you attend different places, please feel free to share that with me as well. We're trying to get out and meet people where they are so we can get the information to them. So with that, just if you do have any feedback for us after this question and answer period, you can reach out to myself. My name is Allison Covert, and my email is acovert@regionofwaterloo.ca, or you can call me at 226-753-2565. Your feedback is greatly appreciated. So with that, I'll open the floor. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that I can answer any questions that you might have. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Allison. Would you be able, Allison, to put us back in the main, thank you. Just on the main screen. Thank you very much.
Here we go.
Excellent. Allison, I did have one question. I do currently have about 2.5 to 3 bags of medical waste per week. So obviously, right now, I mean, there has not been 100%. Sometimes you do get a little bit of house waste in it because there wasn't really a determination. But with this program, my understanding is I would be able to get the medical waste sorted out. Is that correct, basically? Or I would sort it out and they would identify it and they would get rid of it.
So how the medical exemption program works is, I believe you apply through our contact services, and they'll send you enough bag tags for the year. So you would be collecting that waste in a separate bag. Technically, you would tag it and place it beside the cart if there isn't enough room in the cart. Yeah, okay. So we'll give you tags.
Okay, so it's tagged, so it's identified, it's easier for them to see it and everything else, and everything else. Very good. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
And is there from the large garbage can that you showed us, is that about 1.5 bags of garbage for those who, just so those of you who had more garbage than that, just to figure out, because if it's less than 1.5 bags, people are going to be carrying garbage over the course of several weeks.
Right. Yeah. So the small holds about 1 and the large holds 3.
3? Okay. So
yeah,
basically the same size as currently. Okay. Very good.
Right. Yeah. It's only if you chose to downsize that you would have less space.
Okay. Very good. Thank you very much. I have CJ. CJ?
Yeah, just clarifying. So the tags are just allowing for extra garbage. It isn't necessarily medical waste. It's just allowing for more bags. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah. You can place, even people who don't have medical waste, they can go and purchase the tags. The difference is medical exemption, you get given the tags. But yeah, it could be whatever waste. Yeah.
Okay. And the other question is, I have not heard of any of these programs, but
Get on.
But I am in region of Waterloo housing, so I'm in a bigger building. I want to recycle food waste. Is there any option for us in bigger buildings of a region of Waterloo housing to have a central dumping place or a bucket provided or anything like that to make a positive impact?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I love that you want to divert food waste. It's really important. So if I understand correctly, is your building larger than 6 units? Yeah. Yeah, so in that case, it's not the region's waste department that manages that waste collection. I believe it would be private for your building. Um, there is some good news though. I believe it was a year ago, the province mandated that there is some sort of food waste diversion in larger buildings. It's just on your property manager to coordinate that. And it's not strictly regulated yet. So it's a tough one, but they should be doing it. It's just not really mandated. So you could ask your manager about it. I think it's a really great initiative. But yeah, it's tough. I've heard a lot of this, unfortunately.
Yeah, my manager is the region of Waterloo, so yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting. Maybe I'll get your information and we can connect because that's different. That's a unique situation, I believe. But yeah. Okay, perfect. There it is. Thank you. I'll connect with you.
Very much. We've got Barry. Go ahead, Barry.
Yes, I just want to know if someone is in an apartment building, that they I feel live in Cambridge in an apartment building, it's like three units to build a building, and they get the regular garbage and all that. What do they get? Because I have some people I'm part of a community Cambridge program where some of us live in independent living in like an apartment of housing that agency owned. And I have a friend that came to me asking me, what do they get? Because they haven't received anything in the mail or whatever. And also, you said you've gone to different places. Have you approached Community Living Cambridge to let them know about this program? Because we do have people that live in group homes that do there's a lot of group homes that do have like medical waste and everything else, and people that help the staff help people with all the medical needs, and they might not know about this new medical waste program. And also to let people know that this is what we roll it out, because a lot of these people might not have access to the internet, or might not, if they live in a building where someone puts a thing out saying no soliciting. So I see them come out with that information in the mail, and it might just get missed because with the mail carriers, it's mixed in with the flyers. So if it was a separate company that would deliver the information, it might be easier, because right now stuff is, I don't know what it's be, but I know stuff like that where the region rollout information, it just gets mixed in with the flyers. So when everyone's going through the mailbox and they see flyers, they're like, oh, don't need that, don't need that. So they may not see that information till it's too late and everything else.
Yeah, great questions. I'll answer the most recent one. Yeah, we will look into community living. We will see if we can get there in person, because you're right, things get missed in the mail, and it's easy to miss it. So thank you for that suggestion. We'll see if we can connect with them. And for your other question, it's tough to know based on each building if they receive our services. There's lots of different components to consider. There's things like even if the truck can fit down the laneway, if there's a turnaround point, depends on how many units there are. So it does get complex. But if you currently receive our services, you will receive the carts. So that's reassuring to know.
I
hope that answers
sorry,
your
Allison,
question.
I want to interject here. So the medical exemption program is like we've had this program for a long time, and we currently have many group homes in the medical exception program that are currently receiving tags for certain participants. So it's something that we're just going to try to obviously continue and then try to make more efficient as the new carts come in 2026.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Makes more sense.
Thank you, Allison and Melissa. We had Heather. Heather, you had a question or a suggestion?
Yeah, hi, thanks. I haven't seen the new bins yet. They're quite big, and my concern is being able to lift the lid open to get things in there. Is there a handle or anything on the top of the lid? 'Cause I'm thinking I'm gonna need to rig a pulley onto it to open the lid for myself.
Yeah, on the green cart, there's the locking handle, so you can definitely attach something to that. Trying to think of the black cart. Melissa, do you remember? I feel like there is.
There are
Or it's a bit of a
handles
flip.
on on the sides, but it's I can double check a picture.
It's more
Okay.
of a lip that you would open with. But I believe there is a way to attach. There's like some ventilation holes. So I think it should be doable. But definitely come out and see us in person if you can. We list where we're going to be each week on our website.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Heather. Thank you very much, Allison. Are there any other questions for our two guests? All right, I'd like to thank everybody. Now, just to summarize, I think we talked about three key points. One of them is Heather just raised the point about the ease of opening and closing and the ability to be able to either hook something up and make the opening a little easier. So that's something that's going to be investigated. Second thing was the communication of information as the program either expands or develops to non-internet customers, potentially a drop-off of information to the different care stations. As Melissa mentioned, many of the homes and the care stations have already been somewhat identified, so maybe that would be it. CJ, I believe, mentioned a hole, if there was a hole, so that you can actually grab something from there and lift it up. She sent me a little note here. So perhaps that's something to consider as well. So I think that's all that we talked about in terms of the elements. And we did say that the large container does replace 3 bags. And we talked about the tagging of the bags for medical waste as well. So thank you very much. Was there any other things that you wanted to add? If
I'm
not,
good
I'm
on
going
my
to.
end, but thank you.
Okay, well, we are very happy that you came and presented to us. And thank you very much for your participation. Shannon, one last one before we go. I think we can all use a little break after this one. Shannon, go ahead. Your hand is up, Shannon. Go ahead. I don't know if it's intentional or if your phone is playing tricks on you.
Oh, there we go. Are we okay now?
We
Yeah, we
are
can hear
okay
you,
now.
Shannon.
Okay, great. Okay, thanks, Gary. I found my raise hand feature. I was just wondering, the question I had is that regular size garbage bags or larger size one? Because 3, I'm just wondering what size they are, the 3 bags that would fit in there. Because I know there's a lot of times we struggle just to get 3 bags out because some days it's heavier. So I was just wondering how what size bags would fit in the container. Yeah.
Right. I would say it's like the regular standard size. If it helps though, our weight limit is 200 pounds for the large and 100 pounds for the small.
Okay. So does that help, Shannon?
Oh, okay. So
Unfortunately, Shannon, your efforts are excellent, but your phone isn't cooperating with us. It broke free, but if you said that that's reasonable and acceptable, then that's good. Then we're all on the same page.
Okay.
Thank you, Shannon, very much.
Okay.
All right, everybody.
That does. Thank you, Gary. That's helpful. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. We are at the time. We're going to take a 5-minute break. If you don't mind, everybody, it'll give us a chance to reinvigorate ourselves. And thank you again, Allison. Thank you
That's
again,
good. Can you
Melissa.
hear me now? No,
We can
okay.
hear you, Shannon. It's still a little breaking up a little bit,
No,
but we can.
okay. I think I got it now. That's great. Thanks, guys. That's all.
All right, then. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you in 5.
Thank you.
Thank you, Allison. Thank you, Melissa. And everybody, if you could just turn your cameras off and mics off, please, while we leave the live stream running here. Thanks.
So Michael, I guess we've got another minute or so and then we can start.
Yeah, I have 5 minutes having
Okay.
passed, but whenever you're ready.
All right. Well, if everyone is back, I would like to recall this meeting back on track here. We have the City of Cambridge, the Forbes Estate Tower reconstruction, I believe, is the next presenter. And have they arrived, Michael?
Yeah, they're just joining the meeting now.
Okay.
Jeremy, are you there?
Yes. Hi, Michael. Hi.
Hi.
Hello, everyone from Accessibility.
Hello, Jeremy. And then we have is Callan with us? Is that correct?
Hello,
Callan,
yes. This is
welcome.
Callan. Thank you. Welcome.
So I understand you're doing a presentation on the tower reconstruction.
That's correct. Yes.
Very good. Well, the whole floor is yours. Go ahead. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Excellent. And I think if Daniel Lewis has been let into the meeting as well. He's on the call.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I have a Brian Gelman in the waiting room. Is he with you?
Don't recognize.
No? Okay. All right. That's no problem then. Okay.
Okay.
I don't see anybody else, but if I see them, I'll let you know.
Okay. Great. Then let me just see here, share my screen to start us off. Can everyone see that okay? There should be a slide saying Forbes Tower and a blue image on the background.
It hasn't come up for us, Callan.
Not yet, Callan.
Oh. Okay, there we go. How about now?
Oh, we can see it now.
Great. Okay. Sorry, I don't use Zoom as much lately, but should be good to go. So, okay, my name is Callan Wilson Delafield. I'm the project manager for the Forbes Tower project with ERA Architects. Working with Daniel Lewis, the senior associate on this project, who may or may not be on the call, but he can be here to answer questions following the presentation. This is just an overview and presentation to kind of give an idea of the project from start to finish. It involves a proposal to relocate a 19th century agricultural tower from 155 Guelph Avenue to Jacob's Landing Park at 49 Guelph Avenue, just in Hespeler. This is a condition, the relocation is a condition of an approved plan of subdivision and Ontario Land Tribunal decision made between the property owner and the City of Cambridge. So this first slide here shows a 3D scan that we completed at the office of the existing tower in situ. This is showing a present condition. You can see some of the overgrown vegetation visible around the tower. The exterior walls, the stonework of this tower contains some Romanesque architectural features, including segmented arches in groups of 3. And these exemplify a high degree of craftsmanship for a mid-19th century agricultural building. The exterior walls are constructed with mass limestone masonry, about 18 to 24 inches thick, tapering towards the top, and feature large corner coin stones finished also with a worked stone edge. And the rest of the wall is composed of field stones in 2 wides. On the interior, you can still see some beam pockets visible to hold what would have been the structure for the second floor. On the right is a drawing cataloging all of the stones of higher importance, those with worked edges, as well as what we're calling secondary stones that tie into these stones. And the remaining stones, the field stones, are organized into area groups. And all of this cataloging and indexing of the stones is sort of the first step prior to dismantling, physically tagging, and preparing the stones for relocation. Here we see a site context map with the existing tower location to the north at 155 Guelph Avenue, that little red dot. And the proposed location to the south within Jacobs Landing Park, adjacent to the Speed River and the Mill Run Trail, all of which just off Guelph Avenue, running north. This slide shows a closer aerial view of the proposed site. The red border outlines the area of the proposed work for this project within Jacobs Landing Park. You can see a grassy area, some paths, benches, the river wall, and then to the east of this, to the right of this image, you see the Speed River Dam as well. These are some site photos taken earlier at the beginning of the summer. You can see on the left the diagonal path leading to the guardrail at the river's edge with benches facing the Speed River and the dam. Memorial garden planting there in the center. And the photo on the right showing kind of the opposite side of this area, lower down, some additional benches and interpretive plaque. And we're looking back towards Guelph Avenue here on the right. Sorry. These are some examples of features around the site associated with the park and the trail. Just to the west of Guelph Avenue, you have a shade structure and steps leading down to the river. In the middle here, just farther east from Jacobs Landing, you see the Mill Run Trail continuing. And to the right of that, farther east along the trail, we have an older lookout with steps rising up to look out towards the river, currently not accessible. So here we have the design objectives that in starting the design process, these were the ones that we set for ourselves to guide us along the way. They are adaptive reuse of the Forbes Tower as a public waterfront recreation infrastructure, to create a landmark at the entry of Jacobs Landing and eastern section of Mill Run Trail, to prioritize views of adjacent industrial heritage landmarks across the river, provide an equitable and accessible waterfront experience, and to facilitate the public's engagement with Speed River. These are some key precedents that we started with as we thought about the project. On the left, you have a ruin in Denmark that was reimagined as an observation deck. You can see these platforms projecting from the ruin structure. And on the right, you have a viewing platform in France along the seafront, just giving an elevated view to the water. This is an image of our digital site model set to a similar view as the earlier aerial image that we were looking at. Again, you see that diagonal stone walkway coming in, the benches angled, looking out to the river, garden bed, the main path, this darker brown carrying around the edge, memorial trees, and additional benches at that lower area to the east. And this is the proposed schematic design for the rebuilt tower. The idea being to leave it expressed somewhat as in its ruined state that it currently is now. There's an adaptive reuse component that you can just see through. The roof is made transparent for visibility purposes here, but you can see there'd be a steel structure separate from the masonry on the inside of the tower, supporting the observation deck, the roof covering, and a stair to access the deck. Actually, sorry, here as well, we see the new paths, new accessible paths coming in, these gray areas from the sidewalk, Guelph Avenue, to the left. These approaching the tower, coming through the tower and to an accessible lookout on the east side, and then continuing down a sloped walkway to reconnect to the main path. Here we've just rotated the view. We're looking back towards Guelph Avenue now. And this just allows you to see the projecting observation deck within the tower, as well as the raised accessible lookout at the base, and focusing on that same view to the east and the dam. Sorry. This slide shows the same existing and proposed design, but now in a plan view. Again, note the main existing path along the upper portion, the brown, and then the reworked paths and seating areas within this raised portion next to the river. So we have the main path coming in at the entry point to the park, secondary path following along the river wall, these leading to the tower, through the tower, and the accessible lookout location, which would be raised and from the main path, which would be accessed by the sloped walkway, and then a further seating area. This is a section, kind of a 3D section through the model. This just allows you to see the steel structure, observation deck and stair within the tower, the roof above, as well as the accessible walkway or accessible lookout, to the right, with the grade sloping down beyond that. These are preliminary plans of the tower. The ground floor plan is on the right. The second floor is on the left. These would be reconstructing existing openings while ensuring that they have a barrier-free path of access through the single door. And I believe currently the intent is that the doors would be opened daily with a gate, sort of locked open each day by the city, and then the gates would be closed at night while the paths remain accessible around the site. The next few slides are renderings of the project. This first view looking north from the sidewalk along the Guelph Avenue Bridge. You see the tower as a landmark of Jacob's Landing Park in the distance. You can see the dam upriver to the right and the apartment building on the south side of the river just being glimpsed. This view is from the entry to the park with the main pathway, the main paver pathway at the left and the accessible pathway towards the tower on the right. Entering in, the single doorway visible within the tower. And this last view from the accessible lookout raised above the main path and looking towards the dam and the river. This last slide is just to just highlight, the key accessibility considerations and features that we've integrated into the design. The primary walkways through the site set at a minimum 1,500 millimeter width, and the primary paths being increased to 1,800. The continuous barrier-free path of travel from the entry of the park through the tower, leading to the accessible lookout. Doorways designed for barrier-free access. The accessible raised lookout providing a similar view to the observation deck with edge protection, benches with an adjacent clear space, as well as turning radii. Interpretive signage with braille and high contrasting colors located at the accessible lookout and at the entry to the tower. and even glare-free lighting along the paths and the rest areas. And that concludes my presentation of the Forbes Tower. Happy to answer any questions.
Halen,
you.
Can you bring us back to the main?
Actually, I'd like to be able to refer back to 18.
18?
Slide 17, actually 17.
Right.
Okay, no, maybe it was 18. Okay, so if I may, Gary,
Go ahead.
the accessible lookout, in the images that I was seeing, the benches, it looks in this picture as though the benches are a bit further back than they are in some of the other images, because my concern was if they are pushed to the front, how is it actually accessible seating when I'm in a wheelchair? I want to be able to be maybe at the front or beside my friend who might be sitting at one of those benches. They seem fairly close together in some of the other images. So in this image, it looks a little bit more clear. So they are pushed back further.
Yes, if I can speak to that. Yes, sorry. So this, I didn't clarify that in these slides. All of the previous images were initial images produced sort of at the outset of the design. And this last slide, this last plan is the most up-to-date plan from sort of a colored version of what was submitted for site plan approval. And so, yes, we spotted that, from that first presentation, it's like, okay, yes, of course, those benches aren't going to work like that. So, and as well, you can see, if I'll just draw in here a moment, like this area has been also increased in the paving area to allow movement around. The benches have been set back, clear space has been made certain next to the bench.
Okay, and then the other concern, can you show us the gentle sloped walkway image?
Yes. Well, maybe this one. It's not. I don't know if this would be best or.
It was more towards the end.
Oh. Would it? Was it the plan?
No, it was one of your fake pictures.
Oh, okay. This one?
My concern is how high is that lip? If somebody is low vis, no vis, what are the chances that they are going to trip on whatever that is?
Are you talking about sort of this area here? Is that?
Yes, that area.
Right. I'm going to go back to the plan for a moment just to see. Right. So we have a sort of retaining wall border there. But otherwise, I believe currently we're showing something in the range of 4 inches, I think, raised above. But I understand what you're saying. Yeah, if low visibility situation, if you're sort of continuing along this path and then the path turns, and what that indication is for someone. Yeah. And the height would be, the height is less than the height from sort of here to here is less than 600 millimeters, which is just meeting code for guards, but not taking into account, as you're saying, sort of a low visibility movement.
Going for a stroll.
Yeah.
That's going to be a surprise, and that is a concern for me.
Noted. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Very good. CJ, are we good? I've got 2 more. Thank you. Helen, you had your hand, and it was kind of a battle between you and Corey, so I don't want you to arm wrestle. So let's say we'll go to Helen and then Corey. Is that okay?
Hey, thank you, Gary. And thank you, Callum. I just have a question. A novel idea was brought up by Barrier Free Cambridge. Something that Finland incorporated in their towers to make it more accessible was adding a periscope. I was just wondering if it's something that would not be too expensive to add, and if maybe Kellen or somebody in your department looked at the cost to add a periscope.
Yes, so I don't know, has that presentation been given prior to this meeting, or?
I'll maybe jump in here. I believe something was circulated to staff, but it was never submitted to staff running the accessibility committee, and they didn't register to delegate on this item. So the committee is unaware of this. So maybe if you'd like to talk a little bit more about the details of that, Callan, and then we could go from there.
Certainly, yeah. So I just wanted to make sure I wasn't sort of sharing their presentation before they presented. But I can pull up their presentation here. I have a copy of it, if that's all right. So this was the presentation that was shared with us as well, and the project team. And so this is I'm just skipping down to the reference project. And this was proposed as an idea, something, in the spirit of this and what they're calling a periscope tower, so that, as a traditional periscope works, with angled mirrors, someone at the base of the tower could look into it and see sort of the view from the top of the tower. And this was, again, part of the presentation, their suggestion, how this might be integrated, and the other benefits of this. So yeah, we received this sort of midway through our design process. It's something that we're open to. We haven't done costing for this. This is something that would likely be designed by perhaps a sort of a specialty consultant. I mean, we can definitely propose some ideas around it, but it's something that we're open to exploring with the city. And I think, as far as costing goes, this would be an item that the city would be contributing with. And so it's part of our conversation, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Ellen, did you have anything else?
No, that was it, but the building is lovely.
Thank you.
Corey?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and through you. Thanks for the presentation on this. I'd first like to make a comment with regard to sort of the pathway and then the little retaining wall that you've mentioned, approximately 4 inches in height. And I wonder if there might be some thought given as to whether or not we could use a tactile strip to help indicate to people the way that the pathway is moving and turning, to ensure that it's obviously safe for people who are visually impaired, as well as everybody else, because they do help to direct us in the direction that we are intended to go. So that's the one thing I was wondering if we could give some consideration to, specifically with regard to the pathway. I'm a little nervous about such a low retaining wall of 4 inches. I'm not a terribly coordinated person myself, and sometimes, although it's wonderfully designed, a part of the landscaping, something like that doesn't always stand out, and it's something where I can sort of see myself tripping over and launching myself onto the people in the benches, which would be unpleasant for everyone. So that was my first comment. And then I just wanted to comment on the idea of the periscope. So I was actually made aware of it when this came before the Heritage Advisory Council. And I sit on that particular committee. And it was something that I believe was sort of forwarded through after I had shared it with the heritage planners. So that's sort of how it came forward to this. But I'm certainly supportive of looking into whether or not the periscope concept can be added, because certainly now is the time to do it as opposed to after the fact. So certainly I would be very supportive of looking into how that might work, and certainly doing it now as opposed to trying to retrofit something down the road. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Corey. Were there any other questions? CJ had a question, and then I have a couple of questions for our guests. Go ahead, CJ.
The only concern I have about the tactile strips, which I think is a great idea, is in winter. How slick might those be? Depending on where they are, or will they just be filled in and not be usable in winter? They would only be seasonally effective. But yeah, that retaining wall is for literally a huge stumbling block for me.
All
But I
right.
love the idea of the periscope. That would really make me feel included.
Thank you, CJ. Callan, I had one question. I'm looking at the plans. I'm seeing a lot of stairs going upstairs, but I didn't really see a second floor accessibility plan, or did I miss something?
No, I mean, sorry, I haven't highlighted that explicitly. I guess in second floor accessibility, I mean, we did cover some of these things, and we had a accessibility memo issued with SPA, and I'm sorry if I didn't include all these items here.
So I can get up there with my wheelchair, I guess is what I'm saying, to the observation deck.
Oh, no, sorry, not to the second floor.
And what would be the rationale?
Sorry, rationale for not providing or?
Yeah, I'm looking at the amount of steps you have, and you're talking about a periscope, and that far outweighs the cost of an elevator.
Oh, what would far outweigh the cost of an elevator?
All those steps in a periscope far outweigh the cost of an elevator to go to the second floor.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
And with an elevator, and I'm looking at it like that. With an elevator, you gain all this extra space where you have all these steps, and you can use it maybe to display other things from the city or some historical stuff, or just an idea. Because elevator prices have actually gone down, not up. Because I just got one costed for my house, and it's 35% less than it was 2 years ago. So,
wow.
And so I'm just saying, with an elevator, the person could get upstairs, your grandfather with his walker and everything else, and a whole bunch of people, then they'd have a good vision. Maybe some consideration could be done for that from a second floor accessibility plan. And I mean, these are really nice structures and nice steps and everything else, but I do know that structural steel steps that are used like that are not inexpensive either. And I'm suspecting a custom-made periscope is a great idea too if you don't have an elevator, maybe, but it's still a fairly costly item. So just another option to consider. And then you'd probably get a much more use of both floors, plus maybe a little bit of extra space on the first floor as well, to use it for different things. Maybe it would be more open. So
okay, yeah, I will take that back and talk to the team about that.
Thank you very much. So CJ and Corey, I have to cut it really short for you because of our timing, but if you can keep it really, really short, and if it's because we have to move on to the next two presenters to try to keep the thing, but go ahead, CJ.
If you have an elevator, you still have to have stairs because of fires.
I understand that. But there's probably a way to do that also, a little bit more. I'm just I'm just putting it out there because I've seen buildings with elevators at the corner and it reduces the amount of space. So I just was putting it out there as a potential option. So, all right. Could be circular stair. It could be, there's different ways of doing that too. So, but thank you very much, CJ. Corey?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and through you. I just wanted to comment on the periscope, and I know we're using the word periscope, but from the research that I've done on the way it's set up in Finland, it's actually more so two mirrors positioned in such a way to provide a periscope effect.
Mhm.
So I don't think that it's necessarily as much of an intricate design as we're thinking like a submarine periscope or something like that. But again, that's just what I've learned after looking into what's being done in Finland. So just wanted to share that, but I will stop talking so we can move on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Corey.
Noted.
Thank you very much, Kaylin, for your presentation.
Thank you.
The building looks really, really nice. The reconstruction, the detail work on the stone and everything else is very nice, very nicely done.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
To summarize, I think we've got enough notes now, so we'll put those in our minutes and everything else, and we can move on. Michael, we had the Soper Park outdoor pool group.
Yeah, Gary, if you and the committee are okay with it, I'm not actually seeing the staff member in the waiting room right now, but just for the sake of time, I do see the staff for the item after that, the older adult strategy. So if we'd be okay just shifting those around, I'll let them in and we can do that, and then we can do Soper Park and then Ed Newland Pool.
Very good. Why don't we do that then?
Okay, just letting them in right now. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Kim. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming to talk with us today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course. I just see Kim just joining in now, but Lisa, Kim, the floor is yours, so please take it away.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for the opportunity to share information around the older adult strategy recommendations. My name is Kim Cusimano. My pronouns are she and her, and I am the age-friendly coordinator with the City of Cambridge. Lisa, if you'd like to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, excuse me, so my throat. Lisa Whalen, I'm the Supervisor of Recreation for Older Adult Services and Community Development.
Welcome, ladies. Thank you very much for being with us today. And I hope that we're looking forward to your presentation.
Wonderful. Perfect. So I'm going to share my screen and we'll dive into those recommendations. Perfect. Can I get a thumbs up that looks okay on your screen?
Very good.
Perfect. Perfect. Wonderful. So would like to share today that
Can you just make it full screen?
is it not full screen? I'm sorry.
I'm seeing like the sides of the slides as well. It's just easier for me to read when it's
On the left-hand side, there should be a little click that you can close off the 1, 2, 3, 4.
My apologies. I'm not seeing that on my
just
end.
click on slideshow.
Mm-hmm.
If you click on slideshow.
Yeah.
And then you should be able to just resume slideshow. Yeah, begin from beginning. There you go. Perfect.
Does that look better for you?
You know what, Kim, I don't think, do you want to try stop sharing and then try sharing your screen again? I think it's just a bit of a delay or something.
Okay. Does that look any better for you?
We'll
I
just
know, Lisa, you also have the screen up, the slideshow up as well, if you'd
I
like
could
to bring it
try.
up.
See.
I know my apologies. I know sometimes there's a lag in the internet in where I'm presenting from today.
Can you have
There we
Lindsay press-
go.
Oh,
Is that
that's
better?
great.
There we go. We
That's
got
great.
it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Lisa, and thanks for everyone's patience.
No problem.
So as it shows on the screen today, unfortunately, Alex Aitken, Acting Director of Recreation and Culture, was unable to join us, and so Lisa Whalen has joined in her replace. And we'll go to the next slide. So as you can see up at the top of the screen and through the document that you would have received, that older adult strategy draft, approximately 55% of Cambridge's population by the year 2051 will in fact be age 50 and older. And the purpose of the strategy is to provide direction for the City of Cambridge's 50+ recreation community support programs and service delivery over the next 5 years. And the strategy has been developed considering input from a variety of sources and is also done through the lens of the World Health Organization's Age-Friendly Cities framework. And you can see a visual of that on the right-hand side of the screen. It shows you the age-friendly community in a built and a social environment. The built environment looks at outdoor spaces and buildings, transportation and housing, with the other 5 domains of the age-friendly global network as respect and inclusion, civic participation, communication and information, health and community services, as well as social participation. And through the leadership and vision of Mayor and Council in 2022, the City of Cambridge became a member of the World Health Organization's Age-Friendly Global Network, really confirming the city's commitment to the quality of life of adults as we age. You can see in the bottom, the goals of the strategy is around increasing the number of older adults that can age in the right place. It is around re-energizing volunteerism in older adult services, providing leadership in the community with respect to age-friendly supports, all relevant municipal departments considering implications for older adults in their short and long-term decisions. And the final 2 is around increasing engagement for older adults and improving the relevance of governance policies and procedures in the 50+ centers. Next slide. Thanks, Lisa. So you can see, and this is also in the reference document that you would have received, we have recommendations that are in a time frame of short, medium, and long, and we provided the description of what the priority levels would mean, in fact. Currently, from the City of Cambridge 50 Older Adult Services, it's part of the Department of Recreation and Culture within Community Development Department, and it operates 4 active living centers or 4 recreation centers for adults age 50 and older, Links to Wellbeing, which is a social prescribing program, Friendly Visiting, a Without Walls program, and there are 2 locations for an adult day program. Over the course of the development of the older adult strategy has come forth with 53 different recommendations at this time. Next slide. Thanks, Lisa. So we've broken this out for folks to take a 118-page document and bring something more fulsome that we could present. We framed that in those domains, just as those 53 recommendations, and showcase the time frame and the priority that they've come through. So in terms of the age-friendly domain, would be increasing the coordinator position to 1 full-time, but it also includes things like having an annual operating budget, developing an age-friendly in all policy across the department and across the city, across all city departments. And that would really be ensuring that the needs, the rights, and a lens of older adults are considered in all municipal planning, decisions, policies, and services, and it also applies to capital projects, particularly those over $50,000. It also ensures, oh, Lisa, if we can go back to one, sorry. Ensures that we have older adult services, age-friendly initiatives. They're based in the city's equity, diversity, and inclusion accessibility principles, development of an age-friendly community plan, reestablishing a central advisory committee that reports to council, which has currently been on hold since prior to COVID, developing a sustainability plan around something we launched in the October of last year. It's called an Age-Friendly Community Services Guide, which is really a directory of programs and services for adults age 50 and older, and expanding the range of programming as well as addressing the social determinants of health in a more meaningful way. Next slide, please. So moving on in terms of the built environment, we split this out between buildings and outdoor spaces. We're looking at a recommendation to develop an allocation policy that's ensuring we're prioritizing older adult use in the 50+ recreation centers and conducting a feasibility study to identify priorities and establish budgets for recommendation around facilities for 50+ older adult recreation. In terms of the outdoor spaces, we looked to the Parks Master Plan and the collaboration, the work that team did, and that talks about the outdoor washrooms, the outdoor benches and seating areas, and as well as safety and outdoor spaces as per the Parks Master Plan. Under outdoor spaces, we're also having a recommendation around a long-term placemaking strategy being developed and enhancing and expanding opportunities for adults 50+ to connect with nature, both passively and actively, nature-based initiatives, civic engagement, anything from like, for example, City Green Committee, all the way through to planned programs that engage older adults in nature experiences, even in our adult day programs. Number 20 recommendation explores the design of amenity areas, so more shaded gathering spaces, perimeter walking paths, perhaps it's table games or pickleball courts, things that are embedded in public parks that spark those physical activity opportunities, the linkage to nature, and the community connection spaces for both peer as well as intergenerational experiences. So the color in blue is for housing. That's the built environment for housing. And that looks at the enhancing housing opportunity for older adults. And that specifically, excuse me, through the Housing Accelerator Fund. So the City of Cambridge has entered into an agreement with Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation through the HAF Fund. And there are 9 initiatives that are all focused on increasing housing supply growth in Cambridge by at least nearly 3,000 units by January 31st, 2027. The older adult strategy aims to help seniors stay in their homes and live comfortably in the community as they age. Under the purple is transportation, so that's supporting the City of Cambridge's plan objective around getting around by offering information and learning opportunities for older adults. And this actually would include something that's happened over this past June as Seniors Month and in 2024 as well, where we held something called a Ride-a-Bus in collaboration with Grand River Transit. Grand River Transit staff providing presentation and information, and then an on-the-bus ride experience that will help to showcase to individuals present how to ride the bus, how to access the accessibility features of the bus in an effort to allow them to get around in a better way. Supporting the Cambridge Transportation Master Plan, as well as an assessment to determine the needs for equitable, affordable, and sufficient parking at the 50+ recreation centers, and examining more ways around how to better move people so that they can have access to the 50+ centers. This could could include accommodating ride sharing, appropriate drop-off zones, advocating for centers to be on a Grand River Transit route, bus route, for example. The last one on that page is supporting the All Ages and Abilities Network elements in the Cambridge Cycling Master Plan. Thanks, Lisa. In the social environment and under civic participation and employment, the recommendation includes creating one coordinating group across all of the 50+ recreation centers with representatives from program committees and clubs. And so this would be a flattening, if you will, of operating boards that are currently in operation at the Alan Reuter Center, at the Ted Wake Center, and at the David Durwood Center, and having a one coordinating group with a new terms of references, which would have representation from all of those centers as well as the clubs. So number 28 would be updating that terms of reference, and 29 subsequently would be updating the recreation services policy. 31 moves on into the area of volunteer engagement and a recommendation to support the programs and services that require or that rely on volunteers is a 1 FTE recreation coordinator role with a strong background in volunteer engagement and a framework and action plan. 32 supports the meaningful older adult input into the recreation master plan. And then, of course, we also want to, in number 33, recommendation is to develop an application process for new older adult groups or clubs that are looking to be associated or affiliated, if you will, with the City of Cambridge, the 50+ centers. Last one on that slide is ensuring older adult services is a key component in the city's affiliation policy. In this section here, we're under still the social environment. We're looking at communication and information, and we've actually broken that down into two sort of subheadings, one of them being marketing, the other one is communication. So under marketing, looking at a recommendation of a rebrand through the City of Cambridge's 50+ initiative, including the website, logo and signage. That would also include a budget line for marketing for older adult services and development of an older adult volunteer engagement strategy. In the communications portion, it's improving the user-friendliness for accessing City of Cambridge information and services through the phone, through website, and exploring mechanisms more to schedule dedicated, consistent and trained full-time Service Cambridge team members devoted to the 50+ centers. As we move on to the community and health services, which is also within the social environment, is build and adopt a community benefit model as part of the rates and fees review scheduled for 25-26, support a fees and membership review process to include new membership options, such as membership bundling packages. The current model as it stands is adults age 50 and older can obtain a membership, which is good for all 4 of the 50+ recreation centers here at the city. And we've heard feedback through community engagement around the options and inquiries around, could that look a little different? Could there be some bundling of opportunities, packages, and having a review of that? 42 looks to recommend a sustainability plan for the Links to Wellbeing, which is a social prescribing initiative. That social prescribing is where a healthcare provider in the City of Cambridge, so that could be a doctor, a registered nurse, a social worker, discharge planning at the hospital, for example, can make a referral for an adult age 50 and older who is experiencing loneliness, social isolation, or mild depression and or anxiety, provide a referral to a team member here in Older Adult Services, where we connect with that individual to provide information and help them get linkages and connections out into the community for their social health. Number 43 looks to recommend increased space availability to support community support services. Currently at the 50+ centers, we have clinics for hearing care, foot care. Could there be more of an expansion in that, in those areas to support community support and those community health services? Number 44 is actively pursuing opportunities to create new service delivery partnerships, whether that could be with local neighborhood groups. We're also looking for a recommendation to support the update of the Activities for Less program and ensure that there are funds that are directed specifically for in support of older adults. The last one on that page is around the pursuit and the maintaining of a High Five Principles of Healthy Aging accreditation or equivalent. High Five is Canada's comprehensive quality standard for organizations that provide recreation and support programs for children age 4 to 12 and then adults age 55 and older. Under respect and inclusion, the 50+ centers have a volunteer role. It's now called a greeter. Those volunteers suggested that as their role name for the support that they provide. It was formerly host and hostess. So we're looking to have the recommendation to enhance that role of greeter in the centers to complement the Service Cambridge team that provides such things as a consistent space, warm welcome, detailed program information, facility tours. We're also, number 48 is looking to recommend city spaces and programs that are welcoming and inclusive for all. Are our centers dementia friendly? Are they friendly for the 2S LGBTQI+ communities as example? And 49 says recommends an allocation to allocate a budget that would allow for translation services as supported by the Stronger Together report. An example of that might be translation services for our annual Active Living Fair that's held in the month of October. This year is on October the 1st. And we've had conversation in the past around what could translation services look like for individuals coming to that fair who are looking or non-English speaking. And number 50 on that page is around the concept of reducing ageism. And ageism is an opportunity where not only can be directly related to social isolation as example, it can also be directly related to elder abuse. And in Canada, 1 in 10 older adults have expressed that they have been abused, and that is an actual underreported number. So the concept under recommendation 50 is to do some more education with all of our team members to have a no wrong door philosophy and policy and an action, so that if there was a disclosure, if people required information, we would be able to provide that throughout older adult services. And coming up on the last few recommendations for the older adult strategy is the return of a full-time recreation coordinator of adults/older adults for 50+ recreation centers. Currently, there are 2 full-time recreation coordinators. There previously had been 3, one at the Ted Wake Center, one at Alan Reuter, and one at David Durwood Center. Recommendation 52 is to offer a wider range of activities that address the needs and the interest of a broader population who identify as older adults. And we heard through survey data that individuals are looking for things more in the evening or Saturday morning, for example, to accommodate those who may be still in the working environment. And the last recommendation is to continue to offer and grow as opportunities arise for the adult day program and friendly visiting, as well as other opportunities. Last slide is a simple thank you, and just open it up to questions that the committee may have for Lisa or myself.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Lisa. Thank you very much, Kim. Were there any questions for our 2 guests? It seems that they have quite a bit on their plate. So let's talk to CJ. Go ahead, CJ.
Thank you very much for your share. What is a long-term placemaking strategy?
Yes. So placemaking, let me just go to my notes, CJ. So that's placemaking is the concept or the process of creating vibrant, inclusive public spaces that reflect the unique characters and needs of the community so that it's welcoming, engaging environment where everyone feels that sense of belonging. And if I just go to my notes, just in terms of which recommendation that was, I can give you a little bit more information on that.
No, I understand the concept. That's awesome.
Okay.
As part of the ride a bus
Mhm.
idea, just something that came to mind while you were talking about it, was that maybe consider hooking up the bus services with high school students to get volunteer hours and have them assign an escort for a week or a
Oh.
month with a senior person so that they get comfortable going from their home to the grocery store, their home to maybe a doctor's appointment.
Mm.
Just to, I know that when I started using the bus system, as a wheelchair user, I found it scary and I didn't know what I was doing, and I was younger by
Mm.
far, and not afraid per se, just confused. So that might be a something to consider. Also, I would love to see some, as people age out, they start taking on from the regular workforce, is they start doing entrepreneurship. I
Mm.
would love to see some business classes
Oh.
for people like myself, that are doing solopreneur work. So whether that's speaking, whether that's, we may not like, because I've been a paramedic, I've been a truck driver, I've been a scuba instructor, but I have never been a business owner, and I've never been involved directly in business. But I now
Mm.
have my own business and I don't know what I'm doing. So having opportunities like that as well could give income back into the community through, selling through Etsy or whatever it is.
Thank you so much. Yes.
All right, CJ, thank you very much. Are there any other suggestions or comments for our two guests? Thank you very much for your presentation today. And certainly, like I said, you have quite a full plate there. So we hope that the things go well. Now, I understand you're still writing out the final program. Is that correct? Very
Yes,
good.
there's still some additional finessing, if you will, to do with the recommendations and the overall strategy. And then we will take that to the corporate leadership team and from there to mayor and council.
Very good. Thank you very much again.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Michael, I believe after these two guests, we have the pool. Is that correct?
We
Are we
do.
all are we all going swimming? Because it is awfully hot. So hopefully.
So Stephen's just joining in. Stephen, can you hear us?
There you go. Can you see now?
Yes, we can see you. We can hear you now, Stephen.
Beautiful.
So thanks for joining us, Stephen. You're welcome to share your screen there, and the floor is yours. Okay.
Great. So what I'll do is, what I'm presenting today is the brand new Soper Park pool. It's going to be located in the exact same footprint, essentially the area of the pool that the tank has been removed. The existing building's still there. So,
Stephen, are you able to share that with us?
do
you have a set of a presentation or?
So can you see my screen?
No, I cannot.
No, we
Stephen.
can't see it.
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay, I pressed share. Am I doing? Am I doing something wrong, or obviously? I pressed the share button.
So when you press share, Stephen, there might be another window that pops up, and it's going to ask you what screen it wants you to share. You could try see if you might be missing an option there.
All right.
There we go.
Is that better?
Excellent. It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah. Now
There
you
you
know what I'm talking about. Okay, perfect. I'll try to make it a little bit bigger. So yeah, so that's Marion Way, and that's the current driveway going into the park.
Mhm.
So what this pool, it's going to be a leisure pool. The pool's going to be this area right here. Can you see my cursor as I'm moving it along?
Yes.
Okay. So the cursor right here, that's going to be a beach entrance. And then this area here will go to um, a flat area, in which will be the same as this. So there could be and here we're going to put probably a water feature similar to Newland and some bubbling stuff here. And then the deep end with the really small diving board and a climbing wall. There's it's simple, but it's effective. I think it's for the whole family. Along right here is a railing similar to what we did at Newland. So that is completely wheelchair accessible. It's at the grade too, the proper grade. Now, one thing I did want to say is from the initial drawings, these ones right here, that since then we're going to be removing the fence that's around the splash pad. So I know I've heard some people even just talking about the free flow from the parking lot into the splash pad. And just to let you know too that I'm not coming to you with working drawings. These are schematic drawings. We've started, some development with them, but we are changing some things. Like for instance, tomorrow we're going to be talking about the splash pad, whether we move it either way, 4 feet, the shading, and whatnot. There'll be a drop off at the bottom from Marion Way, and then there will be a ramp right there. Because there is, when I think of the site, I always think of it being like completely flat, but it really isn't. Like, I mean, it is relatively, but there are areas that drop off. So here we will need from the drop off area a ramp to bring it up to the level of the parking lot. And as you know, if you're familiar with the park, along the top here, there's quite an embankment that goes towards the river. So uh, we're going to have the main entrance into parking will be from the laneway, where we'll put parking spots and accessible spots there as well. It's kind of, does anybody have any questions? I can flip back and forth, but does anybody have any questions right now, or are you just happy to move on? Yes?
The accessible parking spots, are they double wide to allow for side mounted wheelchairs?
So it would be here, and it would be the ones as laid out in the FAD documents, the current FAD documents.
So there's 2 parking spots with the accentuated lines in the middle to allow if you have a ramp. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the second question, because I'm not familiar at all with the site, will there be a wheelchair type device provided to use the ramp to go into the pool, like that I could transfer from my wheelchair into a plastic wheeled chair that somebody can?
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, I think that would be something more for operations, but we can definitely I could pass that along for operating staff. I think they usually do have it on the side because, as you said, chairs are expensive. You don't want to go right into chlorine.
Well, that, and you don't want axle grease in your pool.
That's right. Yeah, in the upholstery and everything, destroying it. So yeah, no, I will definitely do that in comments and pass that on to accessibility. I think Newland Pool has one. Do they not?
I'm not familiar with that
Okay.
site, but
Okay.
if you are going to have one,
Yeah.
having a spot designated near the ramp for it to be parked or chained up, or having in an easy to use an accessible place where maybe there's some railings that I could then self transfer from
Yeah.
the chair.
Okay.
Just something to keep in mind.
Sure. I'll note that. Um, is there any other questions before I move on? Like I said, I'm happy to switch back.
I don't see any at this time. Go ahead, Stephen.
Okay. So this here, so this part right here is Marion Way, and this is the parking lot. This would be the entrance way. And right now, currently, I mean, they had this erase section. I told them to remove that instantly. So it's going to be all one level, an accessible level, the whole desk. And this will be the reception. There will be an area here to walk through. This is the walk-through area. And then you'll have family change rooms. You'll have a universal washroom with an adult change table. And then here, these are two water closets, some change rooms, and then here's the accessible shower change room as well. There's not, it's going to be a family change room, and it's amazing. They're quite simple, but they do have everything in them. I mean, here it's going to be clear flow into the shower area, with windows at the back, so like for safety, and it'll be quite good. And then from the pool deck, and then there will be some outdoor showers. People just maybe wanting to just rinse off while they're still there and not having to physically go back into the building. As far as the staff, it accommodates as well. You would have this would all be accessible. Even the guard station looking out, or the desk area looking out, it could accommodate it there as well. The kitchen will be done to accessible. The washroom, the staff washroom will be accessible. That's a shower for the guards. And then the one thing about this building, can you see this building, or are your faces there? Because is that just me that sees everybody's faces on the side, or can you see the building?
We can see it.
Okay, perfect. So this building right here, let me just get rid of this one down. So this building right here, this building is going to act as a parks washroom. They included in this project, and just because being economical, obviously, with all the servicing that we're going to have to bring brand new servicing into this building, so it'll do here as well. So we will have we'll have two washrooms. In the one, they'll have accessible stalls, but then there will be a universal washroom in the center with an adult change station as well. Now, this building here will operate separately in the hours away from this building. So this one here will satisfy, and also I want to say they're going to make this, I've had direction from corporate leadership team to make this 4-season. So we're going to make this 4-season. They want to accommodate for winter sports in the park and summer sports. So this will service different hours, obviously, and also hours to accommodate for the future splash pad, which will go up in this area. Not future, within this project, but the splash pad that's going here. I say future because nothing's here, so. Is there anything anybody'd like me to expand on, or?
CJ, would you like to ask a question?
So going back to the first building.
Yeah.
In the universal bathroom with the change tables.
This one, yeah. Oh, this, okay, that one, yeah.
Yeah, the one you're on there. Do you have the second railing for the opposite side of the toilets? Because I can see you've got marks for grab bars, to the, I guess that would be the left side of the toilet. But do you
Yeah.
have one that can be lowered for the right side of the toilet?
we can. I mean, that's always been, um, yeah, I mean, we can. I've put them in before and had to take them out, to be honest with you, just because of transitioning for people that go to the side.
Right, but there are ones that you can put up against the wall.
Yeah.
Up.
Yeah,
And
they
then
hinge up and down.
correct.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
and that's an important feature because if somebody's partially paralyzed on
Yeah.
one side and need a railing, they can't, it becomes much less functional.
Yeah.
The other concern I have is the universal bed and where the sink counters are.
Yeah.
You are really looking at a good head bunk situation in that area because not all of us have great body control or muscle tone.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't sit perfectly in the right spot or misjudge your length, your head might crash back and hit
Yeah.
that counter. So that's a small area of concern for me as well. Same thing in the Four Seasons. I'll just call the other one
Yeah.
Four Seasons building. Either that bed needs to be moved closer to the toilet or the sink. Maybe consider having the sink moved to another across from the toilet or something.
Okay.
Um,
Now, so these tables, and I very much hear what you're saying. These tables are 6 feet long. And then we've had comments too about wanting the sink somewhat close.
yeah,
For
there's a reason for that because, especially for females or for anybody,
yeah,
to be able to actually just reach out and rinse a hand that has
yeah,
sanitary napkins or whatever, dealing with bloodborne stuff.
yeah,
We then have to, with dirty hands, sort of grab onto railings, try to stand up, try to pull our pants up with dirty hands,
yeah,
to then get into wheelchairs, to then go wash our hands. By then we've contaminated multiple surfaces.
yeah, yeah. No, no, fair enough. Okay,
So
we
sink
can
nearby
definitely look into
is
that.
beneficial.
Yeah, okay, we'll look
I
into
just don't
that.
know what your turning radius, what limitations size wise you have. I'm just going just by what I'm seeing on the little picture.
Okay. Um, in the next, well, you know what I'll do is I'll go to the next one because we did actually
Oh, okay.
a chart showing turning radiuses in that as per our new FAD documents. So, for instance, where we were speaking about in that washroom, we do have a 2100 with the table down turning radius. So, yeah, so this year we did similar to what I did with 19 Cambridge, just showing flow in the different areas, the 2100 turning radius in the center, going outside, movement here. If someone was in a chair and they were using the desk, the washroom as well, for an attendant or anybody working there. And so, but I will definitely bring that up and we can look at that. So would you, if that sink is adjacent to an adult change station, is there a distance that you would feel comfortable with it being away?
Does the sink have a counter?
So, it would, I mean, they're not big sinks. They would probably be like a smaller kind of pedestal, with like or not a pedestal, like a ceramic. So it would have some edging to it, but it wouldn't be a vanity as we know it.
Okay.
Because then,
basically a square or round sink with an edge, and it's wall mounted, I presume.
yeah, it would be like just like have the porcelain ones that are rounded and that, because I mean we can't have a cabinet under it just because then you wouldn't be able to get under it to use it.
Yeah. I just from the pictures, what I saw was like two wings on either side of the sink.
Yeah,
So I wasn't sure, that's what I was picturing. Whereas
yeah,
if you just have the rounded sink mounted on the wall, then there's more space than I thought there was.
yeah. And I think even, um, let me try to pull this up. See, it would be like just like a smaller kind of, just if you have to place something on it.
Well, then I
But
would recommend
I
only putting it on the one side, not on both sides.
okay.
It's just it's that one corner
Yeah,
where the head is likely to go. I
right
mean, they
here.
may
Yeah,
put their feet, yeah,
yeah,
may put their feet there, but most people probably won't. So
yeah.
if the head is facing towards the sink, that one corner, you're asking for a liability issue.
Okay. Okay, we definitely can take a look into that. So, so what kind of space, like, is it something that's like 6 inches or is it something that's off the table? Because the table is, I mean, I know it sounds like I'm asking the exact amount, but what are we talking here? Like a foot you're thinking, or is it more of,
I think we have to be cognizant that you still have to be able to get under the
yeah,
sink with your wheelchair. So if it was shifted, the shift you'd have to try it with the wheelchair dimensions before it's actually fully fastened, because just to make a random guess without knowing 100% what the dimensions are on both sides is a bit of a roll of the dice, I think.
no, I was just thinking when you have a 6 foot table, is it something that, the clear span that you'd kind of want on the edge of the table? Because I hear what you're saying that you don't want something really close that if someone um, um, could hit it because they're not perfectly on the table,
Correct. And
right?
on the other
So,
hand, you don't want it so far that they can't reach it either.
yeah,
So
yeah.
those, so CJ, if you can close up, and then we're going to do one more question and then we'll have to move on, okay?
Yeah, I'm just suggesting that the counter beside the bed is like the counter on the side to the left is
Yeah.
fine. The one to the right, maybe not so much.
Okay.
I don't think
Or-
the sink needs to be moved. Just the counter.
Yeah. Okay.
And is the counter fixed or does it have a flap? Can it come down?
No, it's that would
Fixed?
be fixed. I mean, like I said, we're speccing everything out so we can do whatever we want, but it would be something we wouldn't
Okay.
want anything that would fold down because you never know if someone sits on it or whatever that it fails, right?
I
And could
understand.
hurt themselves even like
Very good. Thank you
someone.
very much. Helen,
Thank you. I just wanted to, and you probably already have a copy. Thanks for your presentation. Barrier Free Cambridge sent in some really good suggestions. Don't know if you've looked at them. Now, I
Yeah.
know for these things, there's not one size that fits everybody, but I know with the change tables, those are an issue for some. So if you maybe take a look at his suggested designs and see if that can be incorporated.
Yeah, so I received it later this morning, and I can definitely we'll look at it and anything that we can incorporate, we'll try to incorporate with the design. And I can appreciate what you're saying about the change stations because they're very successful in our other buildings. So it's since we're doing it from scratch, we might as well do it right.
Yeah, so he was talking about the change tables, the showers, the
Yeah.
sinks. For one, he did request the sink be moved. And of course, the pictures are a little bit deceiving because it seems like there is a countertop, but like you said, there isn't.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
all right. Thank
very
you.
good. Thank you, Helen. Thank you, Stephen.
Well, you're welcome.
All right. Is there anything else, Stephen, on the next slide, or is it?
No, it was just the schematics laying it out, and everybody has a copy of it. This just shows flow of the different areas. So, I mean that's it for the presentation. And if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out.
Very good. Are there any more questions for our guests? Well, I'd like to thank you, Stephen, for your presentation, and I know that you've got some work ahead to do and some tweaking and everything else, but it certainly is quite an impressive design layout overall. So
Well, thank
I
you.
think it'll be useful once we've got it all figured out what goes where.
Yeah.
I think we'll be all set. Thank you very
Especially
much again.
if the weather keeps going like this year.
The weather keeps going like that, you might have a lot of good crowds, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you very much again.
Okay. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thanks.
So Michael, we had last presenting group.
Yeah, we have one more. I'll just bring them in. We'll be quick.
Okay.
Stephen, can you hear me? Stephen, Jamie. Okay, there you are, Stephen. Welcome, Stephen, Jamie. Thanks for joining us. We're on to your item. The floor is yours, please.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, my name's Steve Huckbone. I'm in infrastructure engineering. And yeah, I just wanted to review the Ed Newland Pool walkway expansion. Do I present the slides, or is that...
if you could, yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Bear with me for a second. Not used to Teams. Okay, shares there. I'll share my screen.
Helen, there's a little bit of background noise. If you want to put yourself on mute, or if you, there you go. Okay, thank you, Helen.
Okay, can everybody see the slide now?
Yes.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So yeah, the project is just for widening the walkway, and this is a recent photo of the kind of related project for adding accessible path out front and then some parking, but that's complete. And I think the request for this project was related to this to also improve the walkway that goes from William to Margaret. So yeah, this is the key map. I don't know if everybody's familiar with the Ed Newland Pool. It's located off of William Street as the main entrance, and then there's a walkway here in Preston. As discussed, so the purpose is just to improve the walkway. The width of the walkway varies from approximately 1.2 to 1.7 meters. And there's a bit of a decent slope as well, going from the walkway to the private property. That's about 7%. And then the longitudinal slope, generally flat until you get towards William Street, and then that slope gets up to 13%. So here's the improvements that we're proposing. So yeah, we're gonna widen the walkway to 2 meters. This also allows for some snow storage as well. that is requested from operations, just so that we don't get any snow onto the pool deck. And the cross slope will be a consistent 2%, again, from the pool side to the private property here. And then the longitudinal ranges as well, but won't exceed 5%. Some sections below. So yeah, I'm just gonna, another aspect is the maintenance emergency access improvements. So you can kind of see the access that it's kind of informally mostly used for maintenance access, but it's also the designated emergency exit. So we'll be looking to improve that as well. To do that, we need a retaining wall here. It's a little bit deceiving, but there is a fair amount of grade difference from the pool deck to the asphalt area. So we'll be putting a retaining wall there and then having a more consistent grade, which ranges from 10 to 11.4%. And then I'll just go back to the other slide, just kind of showing we haven't finalized this in the scope, but the facilities as requested just for staff parking, just some parking spots as well. So this is just kind of in the works and to be determined if it's going to be included in the scope. Just the parking here. Basically wraps up everything. Did anybody have any questions?
Does anybody have any questions for our guest? Let me just go here, and I don't see any questions at this time. Certainly it's a smaller project, but it certainly looks clean. So I think that's, that helps. And you're trying to respect all the slopes and everything else. And so that makes it easier and everything else too as well. So I don't think at this time we have any questions, Stephen.
Okay. Well,
thank you very much for presenting, and please have a good afternoon.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot for having us.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. So I would just like to thank everybody so far, and I know it's been a little longer. We've had a couple of extra presentations, but I'd like to ask Farshid to speak. He had a few new items under the staff update. Farshid?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Gary. As we are over time, I tried to be really quick. I just have two quick updates. First of all, as some of you might know, along with the PAL card, which is personal attendance for leisure activities, which every city and municipality in Regional Waterloo issue those cards for persons who have certain conditions, including disabilities, so they can have a person with them when they go to leisure activities. There are also the same concept, basically a different name, but the same concept for public transport for people who cannot use public or even assisted transport and they need a companion to be free. So one thing that City of Waterloo started issuing the conversation with the Regional Waterloo, and we all joined the conversation, is if one person has one, they don't need to go to another because they are basically the same process, the same logic, the same thing, just for two different situations. One is for leisure activities, one is for transport. So why we ask people to go through two separate approvals? So we are working with them, following the initiative of City of Waterloo to kind of merge them. So whoever has the PAL cards can also have that assisted transport registration and vice versa, as opposed to having two separate applications for the same reason. That's one update that we wanted to bring to your attention. And when it's more finalized, whether it would be a presentation to you or it would be just an update that is approved and everywhere they accept both at the same time for both purposes. That's one update. And the other update is about our multi-year accessibility plan. When we presented here to you, we received suggestions for more spots and more times and going to engage with more groups, which brought us to 9 engagement sessions. I am more than happy to report that 8 of those 9 sessions has been done, and tomorrow would be the last one at YMCA. So, and then after that, we go over the findings and we will add a what we heard report to the current draft, and we will make adjustments and amendments based on what we received. And then the final version of that will be represented or reshared with you, and also would go to the council for their approval. And then it would be our main document about the accessibility initiatives, and we will start a progress report, a yearly progress report, which will include this year as well, because this year is also under that time frame, meaning that when the year is done, in the beginning of the next year, I will compile a progress report, which will be shared again with this committee and with council and with corporate leadership team and with everyone. So just wanted to give these 2 brief updates. If there is any questions, more than happy to talk about them.
Thank you very much, Farshid.
No problem.
Any questions for Farshid at this time? All right. We have Councillor Shuri with us, and Councillor, any new updates on your part?
Yes, thank you. Gary, I just wanted an update on the Kin Ball Diamond. So first when it came to council, we approved it in hopes of getting funding for half of it. Unfortunately, we don't have any current grants set in stone, but we're still pursuing it. So the council decided to go ahead so we can start building. And then we will be getting basically a loan to do it. So a loan of say $3 million. And in spirit of transparency, I wanted to tell you all, it's really $3.8 million because there's going to be interest. So we've approved that. So it's going to be a big ticket item, but we're still hoping for grants and for sponsorships. And I do believe we'll get some, but just fingers crossed. So that's my update.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Any questions for Councillor Shuri apart from that? All right. Last item. So there will be no meeting in August. The meeting will be in September, on September 22nd, 2025. But I've had some requests to change the times of the meeting from 1 to 3 o'clock, which used to be our original times way back when. I'm getting a no here over there. Okay. Is it because of scheduling, CJ, or?
Well, Barry has to work, and that is my prime rest. I'm already pushed well into my rest period as it is right now.
Okay.
Could I jump in here? I just want to make sure we're all understanding. Gary's proposing moving the meetings up from right now it's 1:30 to 3:30, and moving it to 1 to 3. So it would be earlier. That's okay?
That's
Okay.
that's what I'm proposing. Yeah.
And I'm wondering, Gary, if you don't mind me just jumping in again, we did lose quorum with Barry leaving to go to work. So I hesitate to have the committee make a decision. There's no vote required on this. It's up to the committee to decide on this. But Gary, I'm wondering if you'd let me maybe canvas this date, the time update offline. That's something we don't need to do within a meeting, but if that's something that the members here are interested in, I'm happy to canvas and we can start those earlier times in September, because I think for a couple people it will make life a little bit easier starting at 1 instead of 1:30.
And CJ, it's because like yourself, there was a few people that do need some rest in the afternoon. That's why they asked me to shift it a little bit, just so that you know. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everybody. Since we don't have quorum, Michael, we close off. Is that correct?
We're good to just adjourn, Gary. Yep.
All right, let's just adjourn. We'll see everybody in September, and best wishes, best summer, and have a wonderful August. Thank you, everybody, for your hard work, and we look forward in seeing and speaking to everybody